everyone. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here with us today. My name is Kathleen Kuo, and I am a program manager for Nevada Humanities, which is our state's council partner for the National Endowment for the Humanities. With Humanities at Play, our goal is to pair gameplay and other interactive activities with thoughtful discussions about the humanities and how they enrich our everyday lives. So a couple quick notes before we get started today. If you're a first-time Twitch user, welcome in. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening to us today. If you'd like to chat with us and ask questions in our chat, I encourage you to make a free account, and that'll let you type in, comments and observations as we're playing our game and chatting with our special guest today. Also, if you aren't already following us here on Twitch, you can click a follow button. That way you'll get our notifications whenever we're live. So today it is my pleasure to be joined by Gigi Naglak from the New Jersey Council for the Humanities. Gigi, how are you doing today?
Hey, Kathleen, I'm great. We're very excited to be seeing a tiny bit of sunshine here in New Jersey, which we have not seen for days. So it's like lightened my heart in the last 10 minutes.
Sunshine's, yeah, I see it. It's streaming in. It's definitely when we first started our meeting and to now there's definitely some sun. So that's good to know. Gigi, I'm really excited that you're here because I love when I get to meet people from all over the nation, but especially our fellow Humanities Council staff. And this is part of our series within a series where we get to learn more about the work that you're doing in New Jersey, but also a little bit more about you as a person. So that's kind of what I love about this. So for those of you who don't know Gigi, I'm going to read her bio. It's a really exciting one, so I'm just going to preface it. So, Gigi serves as the Director of Programs at the New Jersey Council for the Humanities, where she oversees programs that provide funding, capacity, and skill building for the state's outstanding cultural institutions. She joined their staff in 2016 after 15 years working in museum education and public engagement. Gigi has a BA in History and Theatre Arts from Drew University and an MA in Performance Studies from King's College London in conjunction with the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. When not helping organizations build their humanities programs, Gigi can be found performing and producing theater, particularly the two-woman show she creates with her best friend, and correct me if I, say this incorrectly, but Chlamydia dell'Arte, a sex-ed burlesque. I never took French. Gigi also spends a good portion of her time wrangling her motley household of 4 kids, 1 husband, 1 turtle, and a slightly bloodthirsty hamster.
Accurate.
Well, we'll ask you about your hamster in a little bit, but today for our stream, Gigi and I are going to play about an hour of Unpacking together. And for those of you who have never heard of Unpacking, the game, it's a really charming puzzle-type game. It was developed by Witchbeam Studio and published in 2021 by Humble Bundle. I've never finished the entirety of the game, but I've played the first couple levels, and I just really love how this is a game where the narrative is just told through the simple act of unpacking boxes and putting things away. The team really put a lot of thought into making this game accessible. The game is nearly wordless, so it ensures that anyone who might have language or comprehension barriers can still enjoy playing it. And it also included a bunch of other accessibility features. And also, for our sharp listeners out there, the sound design has over 14,000 effects, with multiple pickup and placement sound effects that are unique to each item. So I don't know if I knew that before, so I'm going to be listening carefully when we unpack things today, Gigi. We'll have a conversation about that. Yeah, I think that's super cool. I want to know what their process was for designing, I don't know, picking up toilet paper or, socks and things like that. So
so fun. That's so interesting to me. Wow.
So after we find a good time to stop, after about an hour or so, we'll take a 5-minute break so people can stand up, stretch, go hydrate, and then we're going to reconvene for a one-on-one conversation and Q&A with Gigi. So again, please don't be shy about sharing observations, comments, questions you might have for us today in chat. So I'm going to get the game started and super excited to get unpacking.
Yes.
Rain with you. Witchbeam. And pull it up. All right, I think we're good to go, Gigi. Let me know if you can see or hear anything. And then for friends in chat, let us know if it's too loud, how the sound is. Let us know how it looks on your end.
I can hear it and see it, yeah.
Right. Okay, Okay.
Good.
So I think I created this Gigi album. So let's or we can start a new one, but let's start a new one. What's your hamster's name, actually?
Hilarious. Okay, so this is my 12-year-old stepdaughter's hamster. So the hamster's name is Millie Bobby Brown, like the actress from Stranger Things, which is a show that she's completely obsessed with.
Might not be able to fit.
Just Millie, then. I guess. We usually just call BB.
Perfect.
Yeah, she was excited because her last name is also Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like Millie Bobby Brown, her favorite actress, plus it's her last name. So yes, we have a hamster named Millie Bobby Brown.
Who is slightly bloodthirsty.
Kind of, it's not entirely unrelated to the character in Stranger Things. I don't know if you've
That's
watched
true.
it.
Picking things up. All right, so the year is 1997. Gosh, we're in
1997.
Do you know what you're doing during that time? Where were you in 1997?
Let's see, 1997. I turned 20 years old in 1997, so I was. What year was that? That was my sophomore year, I guess. Well, 96, 97 would have been my sophomore year in college, and then 97, 98 would have been my junior year.
Okay.
So I was a junior, depending on the time of year. I was a junior or senior at Drew University, right here in the great state of New Jersey. Living in a lofted bed in a dorm room. Very similar. This relates, tiny room.
In chat, comment says, I don't want to make anyone feel old, but being born in 1997, that's okay.
Yes, you're allowed to be born in 1997. Now, several of our colleagues, we're actually in our office, our tiny office, we're like half and half. Either you were in college in the late 90s or you were being born in the late 90s in our office, and like nothing in between.
Interesting.
It's fascinating. So I have a quibble. I have a quibble with this game.
Okay, tell us the quibble.
My quibble is the red boombox.
Ooh, okay.
It is 1997. I'm sorry, you have a double tape deck. Because how are you going to make mixtapes for your friends if you do not have a double tape deck?
That is a good quibble. Well, maybe her parents have one. We just don't know. I'm just making assumptions about the gender of our protagonists, but I think it's a her.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of cool how just from, I'm not even done going through all the boxes, but you can tell a lot about a person just by kind of the things they carry around them, right? You see a soccer trophy, loves pigs, my favorite animal, My Little Pony, Trolls, Tamagotchis. This is very nostalgic.
Very.
Art.
Very. Tamagotchi, wow. I was a little too old for the Tamagotchi trend, I think.
I had several.
Like that was you had several?
I was really into them. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, clearly an animal lover. Another pig.
Yeah, a lot of books, which is great.
A lot of books. Yeah.
Ooh, I think I had one of these too.
Yep, definitely had one of those.
Oh, a dreidel.
A dreidel? Ah, how fantastic. I am also Jewish.
Rubik's Cube. Trash can. We can always move things around later. I'm just kind of,
Sure.
I don't know about you, when I like unpack things, I just put them all on the ground.
Yeah, no, you have to get everything out, and then at best, maybe you're like organizing into piles, but.
Okay, more books.
More books.
Here, scissors. Yeah. Someone who's crafty and likes art. Ooh, another stuffy.
Oh.
I don't know if there's enough room.
Oh,
I'm running out of room on her bed.
Yeah.
There we go.
That feels real.
Lisa Frank.
Oh, boy. Lisa Frank. Yeah. Boy, that solidly places us in time, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think she's making a comeback. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm starting to see some like Lisa Frank-esque things come back, right? It's like the 90s are coming back. Like people are starting to wear chokers and like flared pants and bell bottoms again.
Definitely. I noticed that with my 12-year-old in particular. There are multiple days of school when she like leaves for school, and I'm like, you could be wearing what I was wearing in 1992. Truly, it's quite something.
You have a little like the little double-decker buses, like the London like tour buses. That's fun.
Fantastic.
Maybe
Fantastic.
here, Hannah
A traveler.
Yeah. Okay, so after you unpack all the things out of the boxes, the game will do the thing where it like highlights all the items where it's like, you put this in the wrong spot. So I'm gonna put her diary in.
Diary.
Yeah.
Or underneath the pillow is the other place for diaries, I think.
Let's put this.
Put the games away.
Maybe under the desk?
Under the desk? Yeah. Okay, so I have never played this before. Is this, like, what is the thing that's happening right now? The star said, yay.
So I think this just means we completed the level and we get to move on to the next phase of her life. So
Got it.
Maybe before we do, so we know Lisa Frank loves books, likes games. She's a little bit sporty, artistic, likes music. I like this person. I already feel like some kinship with them.
Yeah. No, this person might end up working at a humanities council, I feel.
I think so too.
Could really happen.
Finally, my own room.
Oh.
Very sweet.
That's exciting.
Okay, so now we're on to the next phase of their life. In 2004. So this is
2004.
7 years later. It looks like, I can't tell if this is college or
Apartment.
Yeah. What if they're, I want to say maybe college? Maybe they're just starting college. That's my guess.
Maybe. Although private bedroom, wow, or private bathroom, really, in college? Wow, that'd be nice.
Or it could be her family home.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it tells us. In chat, Silver says, keeping stuffed animals on their bed makes me so nostalgic for my childhood. I know, it's funny. So I grew up with Beanie Babies, but I didn't really have stuffed animals when I was growing up for whatever reason. So it's as an adult, when I finally had my grown-up money, that I was like, okay, now I can buy all the cute things that I always wanted, you know?
It's very funny. I always had them as a child, and now, you know, as an adult, my kids have them. Of course, my littler kids have them. And the thing that makes me laugh as an adult is, you know, if we talk about the possibility of getting people present, like getting grown-ups presents, like what do we want to get Dad for his birthday or whatever. My 4-year-old in particular will be like, a stuffy. Oh, the grown-ups don't love stuffies quite the same way you do, Gilda.
That's very sweet.
No, it's so cute.
Oh, our pig came back, so I love that.
The pig is still there. That's good.
Onto the pig. Ooh, okay, there's a toothbrush. So I like that, again, just kind of throwing things in. So here's the bathroom. Let's put the toothbrush.
Oh, yeah.
Right here for now.
Okay.
Oh, and here's the toothpaste.
Oh, and there's the toothpaste.
I'll put it here. Okay, so I have a question for you. Do you have toothbrush holders, or do you like put them over the edge of the sink? Like, how do
we manage that?
Yeah.
So I am a toothbrush holder person.
Okay.
I need it, but we have a separate container. It's funny because I've always lived in old houses, and so many of them had the ones that were like built into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that drives me crazy about those with the little hanging toothbrush things is all of them were like put in like the 80s.
Okay.
And or earlier, when the toothbrushes were thinner. They're like a thin, slim line like that, and now toothbrushes are so thick that they don't fit in those. So it drives me crazy. But in my house, we have just a container that we put ours in. How about you, Kathleen?
So I like that I just unpacked this cup. So when I was growing up, I was a cup in toothbrush kind of person, just like the setup right here.
Yep.
And then a couple of years ago, I forgot why, maybe there was like a Black Friday sale or something, I got an electric toothbrush for the first time. And I guess those they have their own little like stand, so you don't have to like put
thing that you set
yeah.
them in. Yeah.
So that's been really nice. Just gonna perfume. What's this? Oh, a hairbrush. I'm running out of room to put things. It's here. Conditioner or shampoo.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we found a bra. Let's put this in. Would you put in your bottom or the top? Bottom?
Top.
Or top?
Top, yeah.
Perfect.
Top of body, top drawer.
Oh, I love this. Do you see that? I didn't know this could be What?
I remember
I've never done
this
this before. I didn't know. So you can rotate items, but with this, it changes the position. That's so funny.
Oh, that's neat.
Okay. Do you have a preference? Do you have a thinker? Do you have some dabbing?
Yeah. I feel like the dabbing is out of time. Like
Okay,
that wasn't cool yet in 2004. So
Here's running.
Running. I don't know. Do we think, or do we have our kid who we know was athletic? So maybe the running.
Yeah, I like this. It's nice. I like the angle.
Yeah, it's nice.
Ooh, okay. I remember these. I had one.
Yep. I'm actually looking for one like that. Weirdly, right now.
Well, here it is. Just
right here. Can I just take it?
Yeah.
I gotta go scouting the Goodwills in my area. Because I feel like somebody surely has one that's gathering dust in their basement.
Yeah.
Only one shoe so far.
Yes. And then are these might be CDs. Maybe I'll put them up
CDs,
here.
I'm guessing. Yeah. Put them by the disc
here's the other shoe.
player. Aha.
Which I might be
Like these.
There we go. Oh, more shoes. These Doc Martens.
Oh, nice Docs. I love the red ones. So good.
Okay, more
Boy, this is making me
bags.
wish I was actually this person because my feet are too wide for Docs, and it always made me so sad.
Oh.
The Lisa Frank poster? Oh, no.
Is it 3 miles home? I'm not sure what that is. Could be like a made up. Can't tell if it's like a band or a TV show, but that's.
It's got a band kind of vibe, I think.
Another little Game Boy. Oh, the cat made it.
Okay.
This here. Oh, is that Donnie Darko?
It'd be. What year is this? 2004?
Yes.
Yeah, that was out. Okay.
When I was in high school, my friends convinced me to do like I guess it was a talent show, where I played the piano while my friend played, I think, drums, and another friend was on bass or guitar, and we did the Donnie Darko, the Mad World song for our performance.
Excellent. Very nicely done.
Yeah. Oh, and welcome in, Burned Out Lawyer. They write, they make Docs in wide. I have a red pair of boots. Awesome.
What? What?
Got to get
Writing
yourself
this
some now, Gigi.
Oh my God. Now I don't have to convince my mother that it is worth spending $100 on shoes for me. This is the great part about being a grown-up.
Oh, and here's the folded underwear, which actually we had a discussion about this, about folding underwear and socks.
Yes, I'm an underwear folder, so I approve of this.
And of course, toaster in a box with underwear. You know,
That feels
cushioning.
like it could happen. Yeah. Nice. Right, I forgot about it's like, where are we going to put a toaster? Forgot that there's the kitchen. Duh.
Oh. Silver says, the fact that the box only had one Doc Martin in it is bothering me. And then that lawyer says, you can look for the other Doc on eBay, too. Yeah, you kind of find everything and anything on eBay, don't you?
It's true. Well, considering there was, I think whoever this person is, she's great at many things, but packing is not one of them, because there was like random toothbrush in a box full of, like other bedroom things. So yeah. It looks kind of like another pig over there, doesn't it?
Yeah, or I think it's a monkey.
Oh, is it a monkey?
Yeah, it's a little monkey.
Aww.
Okay, so that box is done. I know this game is super cozy. And welcome in, Terminator. Good to see you here.
It's so cozy. Can I tell one more funny story about Doc Martens?
Tell all the stories. We're here for the stories.
Oh my God. This is okay. So my husband bought himself a pair of vegan Doc Martens a few years ago to wear to work. This is pre-pandemic when all of us still had to go into offices. And he is a person who never buys anything new. So it was really quite a thing. He thought about it for like months, overly thought through this whole thing. And then got caught in a rainstorm and the dogs just got really, really soaked, which is no big deal. They're dogs. They're fine. But he stuck them in our oven with just the pilot light on to help dry them out, which was a great theory, but he forgot to take them out the next day. And then when I went to make food, I melted his duck martins.
Oh no!
He had them for like 5 days. It was bad. And the sole just got completely, one of the soles just got completely messed up. Not to mention all that plastic that melted onto our oven, which was also not amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you like smell? Did you like what? Yeah. What gave it away?
What is that smell?
Yeah.
As the oven is preheating.
Oh no.
Oh great, it's melting plastic. It was so bad.
Well, I mean, now you might be one of the few people in the world who knows what it smells like when you put Doc Martens in the oven.
When you're cooking your husband's Doc Martens. There you go. Not great. Dance t-shirt too. Love it.
What's this t-shirt? It's a little bit hard to see. Ooh.
Yeah, I can't quite see that one.
So I can put it in front. It looks maybe just someone's face.
Possibly a Frankenstein? No. Grunge or emo kind of band. Oh, there's the piggyback again. Nice.
Yeah. Another shirt. Running out of hangers. We only have 4 hangers. Might just start folding some clothes.
Might have to fold, yeah. Some more of the little figurines. Lots of jeans.
Yeah. Oh, still playing soccer.
Still playing soccer. Nice.
Oh, what a cute shirt. I know.
Yeah. Love it.
Let's find a space for it. Yeah, maybe I'll move this here. There's shirts here. Little meow shirt.
I love the expanding file folder thing. Yeah. The expandable file folder box.
Those are great. Ooh, jacket. Uh-oh.
Nice.
Okay, I think what I'm going to do is put the t-shirts on the pile.
T-shirts down. Yeah. Hang up the jacket.
There we go. Silver says they're leaving us in suspense of that other Doc Marten. I swear. I know.
Where is the Doc Marten? Good Lord. Oh, I like that t-shirt.
Yeah.
The moon design, that was good. I like that one.
I wonder if it's a reference to Sailor Moon.
Ah, Sailor Moon. There's the thing I forgot about. Love the little double-decker bus.
Yeah, and a little Eiffel Tower.
And the Eiffel Tower.
So, yeah, maybe they travel around. I'll put this in there.
2 things I relate to. I went to grad school in London, and I was an exchange student to France. So this is good fun.
How was your French?
Very good. I should say very good, but I'm getting practice again because one of my kids, we're a foster family, so I have a foster kids, and one of my kids, it's 2 kids who are unaccompanied refugees, minors to the United States. So they came to the United States as refugees, but under the age of 18. And one of them doesn't really speak English yet. She speaks French. So I've been, after many years of not speaking French like ever, I now speak French every single day with one of my kids. Yeah. So
is your family learning French too, so they can communicate with her better, or?
She's learning more and more English. She understands quite well now, even after just a few months with us. But it is fun, especially for the kids to like teach each other words. Yeah. And then the other of the 2 foster kids she does speak English, but her first language is Spanish. Okay. So my kids are learning French and Spanish, which just makes me very, very happy. So that's awesome.
That's really awesome. Okay. I put this toilet paper on front side out, but there's an option where you can also put it so it's hanging from the back. I'm wondering, are you a back or a front?
No, you put it on the right way. You can't put it on the wrong way. Don't put it on the wrong way, please.
Is this the right way?
That's the right way. Okay. Yes. Anybody who disagrees, I will fight you.
Okay.
Just kidding. I don't know. I live in a house full of like lots of people. If you just put it on at all, I'm going to be fine.
Okay. Oh, lots of toilet paper. Okay. So
Lots of toilet paper.
there.
That's useful.
Towel. A box of tampons, which is kind of cool that they included that.
Yep.
And here, these pads.
And pads.
Yep.
Good.
Okay, fit these. There we go. Little trash container. A frying pan.
And a frying pan. But still no other Doc Marten.
No. Yeah, sorry, Silver. Still no.
Yeah.
Still no Doc Marten. Where was done with this box? There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, let's move on to some of these boxes. A little cup.
Logical.
Oh, these are cute. I love collecting mugs. I'm actually, I'm running out of space in my kitchen because I keep buying like mugs and glassware, and we're slowly we don't have space now.
So I was reading an article by one of my favorite cultural studies writers, Anne Helen Peterson, where she was talking about how so much of the design aesthetic that exists in the world is influenced by excuse me, the Airbnb aesthetic. You want everything to look sort of plain and minimalist, so you get a lot of white china and things like that. So do you in your mug aesthetic, Kathleen, do you like your mugs to be mismatched and all kinds of different things? Do you like handmade ones? Do you prefer everything to match? What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, I'm absolutely not a matching person, but we do have some sets. So I think in our household with me and my boyfriend, I tend to buy most of the mugs, which are kind of cute and don't match because they're kind of all over the place. But he loves to collect pint glasses and glassware, for cocktails or beer or whatever.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them are themed, and I cried when I accidentally knocked one off a shelf. He had a set of four, I think 4 Sonic pint glasses. So there's a Sonic, a Tails, Knuckles, etc. And I actually knocked Sonic off the shelf and shattered it a couple years ago, and I started crying. And he's like, "Why are you crying? It's my glass." he didn't mind, but he still kind of gives me grief sometimes for it.
We had a similar experience in my house. My husband, many years ago, long before I knew him, found this old moose cup. It was a glass cup, and it had a moose on the front of it, and then a description of what a moose is on the back. But it's the moose cup, and it was Daddy's moose cup was the thing. It was the one he always drank out of, and I broke it one day, and it was really sad. And he'd found it at a it's called it's a charity shop or whatever, Goodwill or whatever it was. And then thinking about it one year, I was like, I should get him a new one. I should see if I can find it. And they looked very much, as a kid who grew up in the 80s, they looked like the kind that you'd get as a promotion at a gas station, and there'd be a series. Or McDonald's had them at various times. It's a thing that I remember. It's where am I going to find this? But we're big eBay people. So one day I was like, let me look for moose cup on eBay. And most of what I found was not it, but then I actually found the cup. And then it turned out it was a series.
Oh.
It was a series about American animals. So now we have a moose, a whale, a bald eagle. It's a moose, whale, bald eagle, and a bison. That's what it is. So now we went from having 1 cup to 0 cups to 4 cups. And I think it might be the only gift I ever bought Billy that he really truly loved. So yeah, in 10 years of being together.
It is funny how you think that something might oh yeah, I put so much time and thought, but no, I like this other thing just as much, and you didn't realize that you would put so much stock in it.
Totally.
Silver, we found the Doc Marten. It was in the box with what was in here? A knife, a spoon, a sponge, and the electric kettle.
The electric kettle?
Yeah. So here we are.
Well, for me, a Doc and an electric kettle, 2 things that I truly love. There you go.
In chat, Gigi, Burned Out Lawyer says, there seems to be emerging a pattern of destruction of you destroying your husband's possessions. JK.
No, for real. Thank God he's a minimalist. It's rough. It's rough, man. I try really hard, but somehow I managed to destroy all his stuff. It's bad. You think it'd be the kids? Like, we have 4 kids. You think that would be? No. No, it's his wife. Great.
Ooh, I wonder what this is. Is this like...
What is that? Coffee?
Yeah.
Like ground coffee, maybe?
Yeah, I wonder. I'll just put it on the shelf with everything, or the counter with everything else.
Yeah, on the counter. Yeah, you put it on the counter and then we put it away later, right?
Yeah. Okay, more spoons.
Paper towels? Or...
Okay, so I'll just put them in here.
Okay. Great.
Alright, got some more boxes.
Nice. Looks like a photo album.
Yeah. I wish photo albums would come back. I was thinking the other day, my parents have some old like photo albums of when we were younger, when I first came to the States, and I loved going through it when I was a kid. And we don't really have, we have like online photo albums, but that's not really the same.
Yeah. It is interesting too, because like my kids love looking at, like, especially my littlest one will just ask if she can just look at all of the things on my phone, all of the pictures of her on my phone. But yeah, I was the same. I loved looking through pictures of us when we were younger that were in photo albums of my mom's. And I also loved when if I would be at my grandparents' house and get to look at the ones of my mom and her siblings. That was just amazing to me. Yeah, I guess they're not gonna, like, it's like my kids won't have the same aesthetic, understanding of photos.
Okay, the game is telling us we have put things away. So I'm gonna put this pot here. Yeah. And then maybe they want these on the shelves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe I'll put them all the way up. I hope you have a stepladder. These are very tall.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Let's see. Can you put the... Yeah, that works. Maybe put the, what are they called? The cups on one of the shelves that's shallower. Yeah. So that you have space for the bigger things.
Let's try that.
Try that. Mugs.
Yeah, let's see if... Okay, the game likes it. There.
Okay.
Good. And then...
Alright.
Is this in the wrong spot? Is it here? No.
No, just strainer.
Shelf? Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Here we go.
And Burned Out Lawyer says, alas, instead of physical photo albums, your kids will just have to settle for being deeply loved. Oh, that's very sweet.
It's true. Can you call them and tell them that?
Yeah. I have to cook for myself.
For myself.
So it looks like, okay, so maybe she did move out. So this is not a shared home. So maybe she's just turning 18 in 2004.
Yeah. They're 18 or like post-college.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Okay, 2007.
Okay, so we're 3 years in now.
In 2007, I think I had just graduated high school and I was starting college in 2007.
Nice. Where'd you go to college?
I went to school at UChicago.
Oh, nice.
It was,
I love Chicago.
I think it kind of spoiled me for all other schools. I really loved it there.
That's awesome.
But, UChicago is funny in that, anywhere attracts all sorts of people, but you either got people who are very, like, school spirit, love, all the culture and, like, wacky things that you do on campus, and then you also got the people who are like, we came here to study, and that's, like, all we're doing. Yeah. And then we got people who just didn't really care.
Yeah. It's true. Oh, that's awesome. I also had a truly wonderful undergraduate college experience, so I totally feel you on that one.
Yeah, I think sometimes people are surprised when I say, like, just how much I liked college, because for them, high school is, like, where it's at, but for me, I really loved college.
I really loved high school also, which is unusual, I think, among my friends. I know a lot of people who really hated high school, but college was just phenomenal.
Yeah, we wanted to point out, thank you, Sylvia, subtle Sailor Moon cosplay, right? So I think now, she has her own sewing machine. She loves sewing. Super cool to see like how her interests evolve over time.
Well, and I can't help but wonder, is this like work or is this play?
Right. Or both.
Yeah. Or both. Right. Exactly.
Okay. So
those two things were very, very connected in my 20s. I know that. Work, play, there was not a lot of separation between those things. Oh, still has the CDs.
Here's a pot.
Yeah, not so much here.
Oh my goodness. Looks like we might have roommates, some messy roommates. We're just moving in.
Yeah, or a messy bowls left over from the people who helped you move.
Could be.
Although, really, the traditional dish is pizza when somebody helps you move. I don't know.
It really is. It really is. Pizza and beer.
Pizza and beer. Help me move. Pizza and beer.
And I think, I don't know if he's still here, but I had a friend who's helped me move multiple times when I was in grad school at IU, at Indiana University. I probably moved apartments, I don't know, like four times. And for whatever reason, it was always in the summer. It was always in like August when it's like humid and gross and hot. And I just had really good guy friends who were down to help me move all my furniture and heavy things for pizza and beer.
It's like a thing. My best move ever, I moved from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor of the same building. So that was amazing. We were able to just basically like do a line. We passed things down.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That was the best ever. Yeah. That was the best ever.
Well, this is interesting. I'm just gonna put everything on the counter for now. It's moving when there's already things. Now it's all about like sort of sharing space with roommates. Oh, magnets. Look at this little koala. That's super cute.
Oh, that's excellent.
Do you have a lot of magnets in are you a magnet fridge person?
Yes, very much so. It's a thing. My mom loves magnets. She loves only really hideous magnets though. She's like, find me the ugliest magnet you can find everywhere you go, and I want it. So I guess I inherited that from her.
I know. I know people who have just totally blank refrigerators and freezers. I'm always just so shocked. It's like, here's like a canvas, you can put stuff on it.
There's so much crap on our refrigerator. It's incredible. Yeah, it's like why I don't want, one of the reasons I don't want stainless steel appliances where you can't put the magnets directly on them. I think it's stainless steel, right? The magnet doesn't stick. Nope.
I don't know.
Can't do it.
Here.
What is that?
I think
is that a towel?
I think it is a towel.
Oh, okay.
Let's put it in.
Maybe not in there.
Convenient. We have one hook for us. Perfect.
One more hook.
Yeah, I'll just start with this box too. All right, toothbrush.
Okay, so with 3 towels, 3 toothbrushes.
I like how everything's
towels and toothbrushes, color code. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we have one person who uses a cup and one person who puts it on the
side.
Yeah. Okay, here's
still no built-in.
Nope.
I like the what's it called? The washer in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's useful, I feel. In England, in London, a lot of them were in the kitchen, but I feel like the bathroom makes more sense. Nice. All right. Color-coded brush as well. Orange. Interesting.
It is interesting how playing a game like this, I feel like I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Like, I'm just like,
right?
I don't want to.
Like, am I allowed to put it here?
Yeah, should I just put it in this empty drawer? Here's one that I started for us. Ooh, what are these? It's really small. Can you see?
Tissues?
Maybe tissues, or is it pads? I can't tell. What this? I'll put you there for now.
Here's for now.
Deodorant. Again, it's like, do we put deodorant on the shared sink, or should we put it in our little drawer?
I think in our drawer.
Okay.
I feel like if you got it, put it away as much as possible.
Oh wow, this is a hefty brush.
Can you put things in the bath? Because that's one of those like scrubber brush things for the shower. Oh, but you can't put it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I just clicked and it let me open a door. Wow.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, Okay, I guess this is, oh, maybe I'll put it up here.
Oh, yeah. That looks like some industrial size shampoo on the floor there, though.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Okay, here's our pads.
Pad still.
Is there space? Oh, wait, here. Under here. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Tampons.
And tampons, right?
Ooh, air freshener or cleaner. Put it there.
Back of the toilet? Oh, there you go. Yeah, that works. Looking good.
Yeah. Okay, so we have...
Nice.
Oh, there's lots of rooms. So we have a dining room, this like living room, the kitchen, bathroom, and our bedroom, I think.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
There's so much.
It's here.
Have you had to move a lot in your life, Gigi?
So much. I feel like from like college when you moved every year, like into a new dorm room every year, and then after college, I felt like I moved every year for like most of my 20s and part of my 30s. And yeah, definitely when I bought my house, I was like, awesome. I will only have to move one more time. I basically I moved, and then the person who later became my husband moved in. And then I was like, cool, we're never moving again until we can afford to have someone pack everything, move all of our stuff for us, and then unpack everything, preferably while I'm on a beach in the Caribbean. That's my goal.
That's what we all aspire to.
Yeah, right? So it's not looking good that I'll ever be able to move. If that's my... Oh, much more streamlined computer now. Wait, what year are we in? 2007, right? Okay. Much smaller monitor.
Yeah, a little bit more technology.
Less chunky. Yeah.
And I can't tell. Is this like a D20 or something? Maybe.
It kind of looks like that, doesn't
it?
Some kind of game thing.
We got the mouse back. I really miss. Do you remember the old school mouses with the actual rubber ball in the bottom? I love those.
In the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bring them back.
Absolutely. I miss mouse pads too. You got to choose it, or they were branded things that you. Yeah.
I know you can't see, so instead of a mouse pad, I have a big desk. It's a mouse pad, but the size of my desk, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have my keyboard and a mouse on it, and it's pretty nice. And then I have two other mouse pads, but I feel maybe it's too much to put a mouse pad on top of another pad.
Another pad, yeah. It's maybe a little unnecessary. I feel like we've moved away from a diary and into a planner situation. 0708, it.
Oh, so many notebooks.
I
You see
love
these
a
notebooks?
planner.
I'm gonna pull them back out. Look at all these notebooks.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know. Maybe these are for school. Maybe these are her school notebooks.
Or if the drawings of costumes or clothes or whatever. Interesting. Is that a Game Boy or whatever they're called?
This must be I don't think 3DSs are out, so maybe it is a Game Boy Advance. Someone correct me. Yeah, this must be, because I think these are the cartridges for it. So
oh yeah.
Again, I still want to be this person's friend, whoever they are.
Yeah. Especially if they're really good at sewing.
Yeah.
Very useful to me. As a theater person, especially. Oh, same poster still. Still a fan.
Yeah. Looks like, I don't remember if this was there before. It looks like maybe a fold.
Oh, yeah, got a little beat up. Yeah. They got more hangers. That's good.
Did. Okay, now some more shelves for our clothes.
Shelves in here.
Bins here.
Right.
Oh, frisbee.
Nice.
Here. What's this? Is this a
shoe?
Climbing shoe?
Shoe. It looks like a climbing shoe, yeah.
Very cool. I'm scared of heights, so I'm not good at climbing.
Not for you.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think. Again, I'm not a climber. Is this Can you put like climbing chalk in there? I don't know. I'm just like making this up.
I don't know. Not a climber either.
Oh, okay. Bra. Let's put it in our top
drawer.
Perfect. Again, she still folds her underwear.
Still folding underwear. Well done. Nice bag.
Yeah. Oh, looks like there's a little pumpkin on his shirt. Love it.
Cute.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I like how the game's like your drawer is open. You can't open.
Your drawer's open. You can't.
Oh, an apron. Okay, let's put this in the...
Oh, with a similar pumpkin?
Yeah.
To what was on the shirt, maybe?
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's interesting.
Let's put this. Do you use aprons? I have aprons, but I always forget to use them.
Yes, I'm a big fan of using an apron, actually. And we have a bunch. Is that a George Foreman grill?
I think it might be. I never owned one. Is that what this looks like too?
Yeah. I had a roommate who had one, and that was, again, very much of its time.
I think when I moved out here, I think my boyfriend's grandfather gave him a George Foreman grill, which we have never used. Sorry, Grandpa.
We won't tell.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, first aid kit. Oh, maybe we'll put
first aid kit. Yeah, back of the toilet. That makes sense. It's a logical place. Scrubber sponges.
Yeah.
Good job.
Let's put this there. Actually, I don't know about you, in my kitchen I have like there's two holes where you can like put all your big utensils, and I store them on the counter by the stove.
Yeah, we have a big crock with the big utensils.
See where cutting boards go.
Yeah. All right. That's everything in the kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yoga mat. Put this here.
Lovely. More pajamas.
I was thinking, just since we're sort of playing a game about unpacking, and by extension, moving, when I moved, I left behind all of my plants in Las Vegas, and I've just been so heartbroken. I was just thinking, like, I really want my plants back, and I wish I could have brought them with me, so I'll buy plants at some point.
How do my plants? My best friend is a big plants person. Maybe over by the oh no, that's a good spot, yeah. I was gonna say by the, it's helpful to have one over by the toilet, I think.
I'll put it here.
Great. My best friend is a big houseplant person, and she got really into doing like plant exchanges, like on Facebook Marketplace and things like that, so that it got a little out of hand. We're like, you live in a jungle now. But she also had to get rid of a lot of hers when she met the person who's now her spouse, and there were just not enough space for all the plants when they combined their households. So sad. Some shoes.
Doc Martens are back. Lots of shoes.
Lots of shoes. Nobody melted her Doc Martens. That's good. Yet.
Oh, they're all in the same box. Perfect.
Whoa, things are different.
Yeah.
Things are different now. Dang.
There's more pants. Skirt.
Hanging up?
Oh, we could. Oops.
Gotta close those drawers. There's a skirt hanger.
Let's see that. Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Oh, the shirt is back.
T-shirts. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think, so this is definitely a D20. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it looks like a little...
Oh, yeah, look at that. Uh-huh. Yeah, you're right about that one, I think.
Another jacket. When we're playing this game, are you thinking about like your kids in their rooms and how they have them organized?
It's funny that yes, absolutely. Oh God, do you remember when there used to be a space in your desk to put your what's it called, CPU?
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
The computer. Yeah.
The big computer unit. Yeah. now we just have laptops and we barely even need these things anymore.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about like every now and again I have dreams about my kids being older than they are. And one of the foster kids, a sophomore in high school right now, and we've started talking about she wants to go to college. And I was just kind of like imagining what it's going to be to get her ready, moved into college. I just can't even. Oh, Nancy's back. I just can't even imagine, what their lives are going to be. Sometimes I love to think about their lives later.
Yeah.
So to think about.
Well, it's kind of like, so I have a niece and nephew. Actually, I have two nephews. So I have my newest nephew was just born a couple weeks ago, but my other niece and nephew, they're now, one's in high school, the other one's about to start high school. And it's just been so funny watching them grow up and realizing, oh, you remember what I say now. Like, you have memories of me.
Oh, yeah. No, that's for real. That's for real. That's so interesting to think about.
And then I don't think I had a cell phone until I was in, like, maybe towards the end of high school. And then I didn't get a smartphone until I was in graduate school. For my PhD, like even when I was doing my master's, I still had a regular like flip phone, no internet, like calls only.
Yeah.
No texts even. I didn't have a texting plan. And
wow.
Yeah, it took me a long time. And my niece and nephew, like I was asking my sister something the other day, and she was like, "Why don't you just text your niece?" I'm like, "She has a phone?" Like,
she has a phone?
I didn't even know that you ever gave me your number. So I texted my niece, who's like 11, and it was just kind of bizarre because it's like you're like a real person. You're like messaging me.
Well, there's two things that you're making me think of. One, we were talking with friends about like what was different in phones, and like, of course, smartphone versus non-smartphone. I often say I'm the last member of Gen X who got a smartphone. I seriously might have been the dead last person in Gen X who got a smartphone. But the thing that I remembered that I hadn't thought of in many, many, many years is when I had my first phone, you would wait until later in the day to make calls outside of your area because like long distance calling was free after 6 p.m. or something. I can't remember the exact time, but like if I was calling in the city where I lived, you could call anytime. But like if I was calling my friends, wherever, out other places, we waited until after 6 p.m. because it was free. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't thought of that in decades.
You're right. Yeah, making calls at night. Also, I think it's super cool that she's added the Leaning Tower of Pisa to her souvenir collection.
England, France, and Italy now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Used to travel outside of Europe somewhere, though, I think. Be a good next step.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I was just thinking about how I want to renew my passport soon. I think it expired during like the height of the pandemic because I was not going anywhere, and I kind of want to travel again soon if I can, but gotta renew it.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and mine expired on the 0 year. So it was like it expired in 2020, and I was like, oh crap. So now I should do it. I need to do it sometime soon, but it was really convenient that a 10-year long thing expired on the 0 year. Because then it was just like whenever I'd hit 9, I was like, oh, I need to renew my passport.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna move this here. So
okay.
So I think
I've got a gallery wall thing going on.
Yeah, I'm guessing she has roommates, and I've never noticed this before, but it looks like they have a little D&D campaign going on here with their dice and character sheets, a little dice tower. And this looks kind of like characters, like with a little bow, the swords. I thought maybe I'll put it right next to their D&D table.
Right next to their stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. I never played D&D, but it looks like fun.
I just got roped into it recently.
Oh, yeah?
I think you would like it if you're a theater person, because I always thought, well, I'm pretty shy, and I was like, I don't want people to like make fun of me, or like I'm bad at like improvising on the spot. I think if you have the right group, of course everyone everyone was a first player at some point.
Sure.
But it just took me a very long time because I've always been very shy about that kind of thing.
The gaming systems are getting more and more complex too.
They are. More paraphernalia, a lot of controllers and games.
Yep.
Oh, this is a blanket.
Blanket? Okay. On the couch.
Yeah. Silver says, as long as you can find a good group, then it's a great time if you're interested. Yeah, that's really the key, like finding a good group. Because I've heard like horror stories from friends who joined like online groups for like D&D, and they just didn't mesh with those players.
Not working.
Yeah. Okay, so now the game is yelling at us. You can see like everything that's flashing. They're like, it's in the wrong spot. So okay, let's see.
Let's see.
Cap here.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know if I have enough room for all the shoes.
I know. I was gonna say, where are we gonna put all the shoes? Under the bed? You'll have to do that. Oh, there's space in there too.
You are so smart. We can put them under the bed. Perfect.
There you go. Yeah.
I like that. It's acceptable.
Nice.
Perfect. And then
cool. Yoga mat under the bed. Yeah. I mean, just throw those directly out the window. Who's gonna use them, really? Just kidding. Just kidding. No more space on the shelf?
Yeah. Well, actually, here's... Okay, I'll do this. I'm not really sure. Maybe this should go in the living room. Well, I think I can make things fit.
Gooch 'em.
This one rotate.
Nice set of pencils there, though. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Okay, this is too big. Maybe this will go in the living room.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay, I'll just put this here for now. What is this? This looks kind of like a book? Is it a game?
I think so. A game? No.
Oh, perfect. So we'll put that
Oh, there we go. Okay.
This doesn't fit there.
There's one more shelf on the...
Oh, right here. You're right.
Right there, yeah. If we need to put... Does it fit? Yeah, good.
Okay, this one will go here? No. Well, I might as well move this. Here's where like the puzzle game aspect really comes into play. Put you here.
Oh, nice.
Room for a book.
With the notebooks?
Yes.
On the edge? Alright.
Okay, so this... Maybe we'll put it
in. Right.
Here. Oh, nope.
Okay, there we go.
They're like, don't put it there. Perfect.
Great.
Still don't know
the
what
thing
that
we
is.
don't know what it is.
Yeah, but it belongs there.
But it goes there, sure. That sounds great.
Okay, we have a big knife.
And maybe with the drawers.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, knife block?
Oh, is there a knife
there's
block?
No space.
Oh.
There is. It's on the right there.
Yeah, I think
it does look like there's a space, yeah. So I guess in the drawers,
okay,
right?
Let's open.
There we go.
Let's do that. That will go there.
There we go.
Can opener. Maybe this can also go. Oh, there's no space. Doesn't go there either.
On top of the fridge?
Nope.
No.
Game doesn't like it. It's so funny. If it were me, I'd be like, yeah, I'll just put it here for now and deal with it later.
Deal with it later.
Yeah.
Game's like, you shall not deal with it later.
No procrastination allowed.
Yeah. I need this game in my life sometimes, I think. Put your crap away.
Okay, so maybe let's
all right.
go in our closet, maybe? Let's
in the
just try
closet,
that,
yeah. Maybe that's it.
Can we hang you? There's no more hangers. Okay.
No more hangers. Okay. Fold it on a shelf. There. Sounds great.
All right, and now what else is? Okay, so they don't like it here. Where should we put this?
On top of the bookshelf?
Ooh, let's try that. No, it's not gonna fit.
No. Okay.
Oh, it's just one of
this
those.
Thing is just a menace.
Put it under my bed and deal with it later.
Yeah. Throw it under stuff and deal with it later. Gosh, where can it go? Well, try it under the... Oh, how about under the coffee table?
Nope, it doesn't fit.
Nope.
Well, actually, what if I move this? Will it fit now? Okay, so it fits there. So this... Find room for this. Let's find it. Maybe there's like a big bookshelf somewhere. Oh, there. Okay.
There? Success.
All right.
Wow.
Movie nights are going to be awesome. Oh,
True.
very sweet. Okay, Gigi,
True.
well, I don't know if you realize it, but this brings us to kind of the end of our first hour together for the playthrough.
Okay, so this is the first thing I have ever played like this. So this is very cool for me.
Yeah. Well, I like it because, a lot of people think games are, like fast-paced or, I don't know, like super... I don't know what the word is for it, but just like, kind of like all over the place. This is very like, it's almost like Sudoku and like...
Yeah.
Like unpacking form, which I really love. So, all right, I think what we're gonna do is I'll let this game take us to the next screen, 2010. We're gonna take about a 5-minute break, and then Gigi and I are gonna come back and have our Q&A interview together. I'm just gonna spy. Do you want to spy really quickly before we do that? I don't think I've ever seen this level.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. I feel that this is a different roommate.
I think so too.
Maybe a
lot of music,
dare I say?
Yeah. Seems kind of dangerous to have like all your weights like a glass
next to a glass coffee table. Terrible idea. Terrible idea.
Okay.
Very urban.
It really is. Yeah, it's like
feel here.
Oh yeah,
this is a boy. Is there more than one bedroom or just one bedroom?
Let's find out. It's very like, black and white. I wonder if she is
very sleek.
Cologne. Very cool kitchen. Oh, maybe this is them.
Oh, I love it. Very exciting.
All right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and this is the next phase of her life. So, all right, we're going to take a break now. We'll see everyone back in about 5 minutes. everyone. We hope you had a great break. Thanks again for joining us for Humanities at Play today with our special guest, Gigi Naglak from New Jersey Council for the Humanities. Gigi, what did you think of Unpacking? I'm curious.
So I have never been a video game person ever. Like even when I was a kid, it was just not the thing I did. I remember playing Super Mario Brothers a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I remember like if we want to go back even farther, I remember my siblings playing like Atari
Mm-hmm.
in the 80s. Like I remember that really well. But for whatever reason, I just never it was never my thing. And I think my conception, even though it shouldn't be because my kids play video
Mm-hmm.
games, my conception of video games is still very much like Super Mario
Yeah.
Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Like what was on the Super Mario, like what you got automatically with your Super Mario system in, I don't know, whatever year we got it, 1988 or whatever. I don't remember what year it was. Um, but now, so this was like totally, and I know intellectually that there's this just like unbelievable array of games. Probably my favorite book that I read last year also was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow by
Mm-hmm.
Gabrielle Zevin,
Yeah.
which was just I had to be convinced to read because I was like, "Ah, it's about video games.
Right.
I'm just not into that," which of course it's not. But that was an introduction to this world as well of like how when they started describing the games in there, I was like, that's a game? How is that a game? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what this. So yeah, that was really cool to actually see what it is and like experience it. I was also kind of amazed that it was so low tech. That sounds weird, but it didn't. One of the issues I have, my as I mentioned, my kids love to play games, and I can have difficulty with the way the perspective constantly
Mm-hmm.
changes. Like when moving through a game, it makes me very, very dizzy. So
Yeah.
I literally can't look at it.
Yeah.
I tried to play Minecraft with my 12-year-old at one point with Magnolia, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just cannot do this. It hurts my head. So it was nice that this was much more
Yeah.
static. It wasn't like I didn't feel like I needed to figure out how to play it. So that was really interesting. And as a person who loves the humanities, the idea of going through someone's stuff and
Right.
trying to tell a story out of it, like, yes, this is amazing.
Right. I think that I like to tell everyone, I think we're all a little bit nosy, and I think that sometimes, humanities, if you're, especially, I don't know, if you're an archaeologist, an anthropologist, it's all about,
Yeah.
reading old letters and looking through
Yep.
people's things. So
Yep.
here you have it in game form.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. Oh, and more than a little bit
Mm.
nosy. I gotta be honest. Like,
But
I was,
I'm glad you
yeah.
really liked it though, because yeah, it is this. I think part of this program, right, is talking to people, but it's also introducing these new games, to a wider audience.
Yeah. I think it's really easy to remember to, especially like, I'm not 25 years old anymore. I'm not out in the world like learning new things as much. So I think it's easy to get complacent, particularly as you get older, and say like, I know what I like, and not opening yourself up to new opportunities
Hmm.
and new ways of learning things. We humanities folks do tend to be lifelong learners, but like I think it wouldn't have occurred to me to open myself up to that. So it's one of the reasons why I was excited to get your invitation to do this program
I'm glad you
because
accepted.
it's like pushing me outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, I think speaking of humanities councils, I'm going to start our Q&A and conversation. As a reminder to everyone, this
Yes.
is if you have any questions for Gigi, please feel free to put them in the chat and I'll ask over the course of our conversation. But I like to ask everyone, what kind of got you on this path of working with a humanities council? Because I think not
Mhm.
everyone's always aware that they exist, or it's like, how do I
Yeah.
even get on this path of the humanities in the first place? And so when I was reading your bio, I noted, theater and performance, which is amazing,
Mhm.
and then museum education and
Mhm.
public education. So just all of these things is kind of like circle around the humanities. Now you're working for New Jersey, so I'm wondering if you can tell us, like, yeah, how you got sort of interested in theater and performance studies, and then
Sure.
your work with museums, and how you ended up at the New Jersey Council for the Humanities.
Yeah. In so many cases, I feel like all of my whole path in my employment was coincidental. I really do. Like, I wish, I know some people really have a great like vision for themselves about what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. I had a lot of ideas, but I also have always been a person who loved to do more than one thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think the only path I was never going to follow was doing one thing. My parents were pharmacists, both of them, although they divorced when I was young. So, but like my parents were pharmacists, and they were pharmacists, and they were pharmacists, and now they are retired pharmacists, and they own their own businesses. So they really like were in the same jobs forever. And that was like coming out of college. I was like, okay, and then you get a job, and then you stay in that job. But I was like, what am I going to be? I guess maybe I'll be a teacher. Um, but it turned out that like I got a job as a long-term substitute at one point, thinking I was going to do alternate route certification as a high school teacher. And I loved teaching, but I did not love being in a school. Like, I did not love dealing with all of the nonsense that goes along with sort of like being a teacher in a public school, outside of the classroom. So that ended up not being a good fit. So I think my entire career has been just like opportunities. I ended up getting into museum education because I was hired as an actor at Ellis Island. So
Oh, wow.
I studied theater. I did theater. I graduated from college, decided, did the thing that so many people do. I moved first to northern New Jersey and then into New York City to like be an actor. And I had started auditioning and then took odd jobs to make my rent.
Mm-hmm.
And in the course of one of those odd jobs, met someone who was a stage manager for the same for a show, this show at Ellis Island that performed 6 times a day, and it was
Wow.
about the
Yeah.
immigrant experience in America, and they needed somebody, so she like got me an audition, and I was cast in the show. In the show at Ellis Island, as the actors, we also helped out the education department. And I was like, oh, this is so fun. I love this so much. And I was like, and then it finally occurred to me, I was like, yeah, Gigi, you were a history and theater major. Like, this is this is all the stuff that you love. So I sort of like tumbled into museum education through that, and then I tumbled into like managing and developing museum education and public programs, just like as a natural fit. And I feel like I am the age that I am now, and I was like the last group of people that didn't have to have a degree in museum studies to start working in
Mm-hmm.
museums and like learn along the way. So it was sort of fortuitous and serendipitous the time that it happened. And after about 15 years doing that work, when I decided to leave my position, at that time, I knew I didn't want to do museum education and public programs in a small museum, because that's what I'd been doing for my whole career. After Ellis Island, Ellis Island's a very big museum. After that, I always worked in small museums. So I was just like, I want to take these skills and find them in some other way. Um, and I remember when I applied to the job at the New Jersey Council for the Humanities, I was like, there's just no way they're going to want somebody like me.
Oh.
That's not what they're looking for. Except as it turned out, it was. So 8 years ago that happened, and I love this work because I get to still be deeply involved with museums, but lots of other kinds of organizations too, and really take those skills that I learned, um, in museum work, but also in the arts. I mean, there's so much overlap between the arts and humanities, and there's so much that both disciplines can learn from each other, or both areas can learn from each other. That's been a huge part of what I've been trying to do, is to help people find those bridges, between the arts and humanities. I have a particular skill set in it. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. I feel like that's all of us who work at humanities councils had these like curvy paths into our jobs and lots of different ways. I feel like everybody's like, I had a non-traditional path. I was like, I think the non-traditional path is actually the traditional path into humanities
Hmm.
councils. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I think my life is definitely like one big like topsy turvy like squiggly thing for sure.
Right. But I think, I think a lot of people like us have a lot of interests. I would never, I would have been sad. I don't think I would have been satisfied with a life where if I had just Like if, like, let's say I had hugely succeeded as an actor and I was just an actor, I don't think that would have made me happy.
Mm.
I think that being able to perform sometimes and do programs sometimes and become a grant maker and, help people find, excuse me, these really like interesting interdisciplinary opportunities is like, I think that's what that has become. I don't know if that speaks to you at all, Kathleen.
I think so. I think when I was younger, I really wanted to be a writer. Like I loved writing. I
Mhm.
spent like all summer, like when I was in middle school, I remember I had like back when we had like floppy disks and like
Oh,
CDs
yeah.
like to store data on, like I would just write stories. My dad told me like you don't want to turn what you love into a career. So he tried to like actively be like, like don't write for a living. Just keep it as something you love on the side so it doesn't ruin it for you. And same with music too. I think I really struggled for a long time because I loved music, but again, parents said, don't study music and in college do something else. So I had to figure out what
Yeah.
that was.
What's that thing?
um,
Guess what? Go to work at a
right.
humanities council. You get to work with all of these people.
hmm
It's true.
We have a question for you in our chat.
Oh,
The question
yeah.
is there a single play that you can pick as your favorite? If not, top three is good.
Oh gosh. Picking a single anything is my favorite is always hard,
uh-huh.
but I can give you one. The most amazing, earth-shattering, life-changing play. I We'll see if this counts as a play.
Okay.
Theater experience I ever had was Taylor Mack's 24-decade history of popular music. It was utterly incredible. I saw it in Philadelphia in 2018. It is a 24-hour long show.
Wow.
Yes. And if you're not familiar with Taylor Mack, please, my friends, do yourself a favor and go look at Taylor Mack. He is magical. Yeah, so I saw the show over 2 12-hour
Okay.
days. So all day long. My brother-in-law plays trumpet in the band. Um, but I'd heard about it before I even knew Greg. So yeah, it was truly and completely earth-shattering and extraordinary. So I would say that is my favorite theater experience I ever had. But it's a cabaret rather than a traditional play. If I had to pick my favorite one single favorite play ever, um, that would be really, really hard. But I think I would probably say Our Town. I love that play. And I think Thornton Wilder is a genius. Yeah,
Thank
Our
you.
Town.
I I remember when I was in high school, I had a lot of friends who did, theater. And I think
Mhm.
I tried, but I was really bad at remembering my lines. Like that's probably the problem. I can be like a good like enthusiast like watcher, but not an actor. And then I was ended up being like the
So good.
pit for musicals, and I like that even more. So
Nice. What do you play? I think you told me at some point, but I can't remember.
I play a variety of things, but in high school I did either violin or viola, depending on what they needed more of. Sometimes it was viola because no one really plays the viola.
Because nobody plays viola. One of our neighbors, my kid's friend, plays viola, and I was like, that is brilliant. You should smart. You will always be more likely to be the the person who's needed. That's
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I loved it. I think Fiddler on the Roof was one of my favorite
Uh,
musicals that we did in high school, and being in a pit for that was really fun.
so great. I feel like in the musical, I'm not a big musicals person, but I feel like in the world of musicals, there's like two kinds of musicals that I really love. The ones that um, like shake your foundation and play with the genre and really make you think, the
hmm
Hamiltons of this world. And then there's what I always think of as like less plot, more tap. Um, Anything Goes is one of my favorite musicals of all time, which is like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb, but it's fabulous. It's like the music is amazing. The tap is incredible. So I'm a big fan of art. One of the reasons why I love Taylor Mack so much is um, that he has such an important thing to say
hmm
in all of his shows about in a lot of different ways. And yet the art is never lost. That over the top, crazy, like queer, big bananas art is never lost in any of it.
I'm definitely gonna have to look this up. I'm really excited
Oh,
to to read more.
it's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
So this might be a good transition into asking
Mm,
you about the two-woman show that you created with your
yes.
best friend. Can you tell us
Yeah,
more about that burlesque and
sure.
maybe also your interest in sex education as well?
Yeah. Yeah, because those two came together.
Hmm.
That was really important for it. Yeah, so Chlamydia dell'Arte, a sex-ed burlesque, is written and performed by me and my best friend, whose name is Meg Williams. And we created the show. Our first show was in 2000. Wait, I'll get this right. 2009, actually, when we did our very first show. We had a theater company together, and we wanted to do some theater that was outside of the work we were doing in our theater company, which was, producing regular plays. Meg was at the time primarily a director. I was primarily an actor, but we wanted to do something that was kind of just for us outside of our theater company. So we decided to create a show. Um, and the idea behind it, we wanted to sort of explore ideas around sex and gender and human sexuality. Um, and we were very interested. The burlesque connection started with fan dancing. We were very interested in fan dancing. I desperately wanted to try it, as the dancer among the two of us. So that's kind of where it came from. And as we were trying to like take this vague idea and make it into a thing, um, we were joking. Chlamydia dell'Arte was an idea when we were naming our theater company with our friends with whom we started our theater company. Chlamydia dell'Arte, which is a joke on commedia dell'arte, an Italian form of theater, um, was which is in some ways a progenitor of things like vaudeville and burlesque. Um, they that was a joke that one of our friends made when we were thinking about the theater company. And so as we were talking about the show, I was like, I got it. Chlamydia dell'Arte, a sex ed burlesque. And it was so funny because I was kidding. Except as soon as I said it out loud, both of us kind of looked at each other and were like, oh my God, that's the show. So we weirdly had a title before we had a show. And then the conceit of the show is that it's set up like a burlesque show. So you have, skits and parodies and songs and dance and all of these things, but they're always about sex and sexuality. And the idea that we have behind it, the thing we're really committed to is like, what if sex education was all about joy? What if it was all about laughter? What if it was all about fun? Because the way we perceive sex education in this country, I think, is all about fear. And that is why we have incredibly high levels of STDs, and people don't want to talk about what brings pleasure or happiness among them and have a hard time communicating with partners. So that's the idea behind Chlamydia dell'Arte.
Also, I think this ties into we talked a lot about like humor and comedy, and you sort of brought it up here,
Mm,
like instead of
mhm.
using fear, using laughter and joy. And I think um, you use this yourself when it comes to like trying to educate people or in
Yeah.
public programming. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a thing that we should talk about more, actually. And I think, it's a challenge for us. I'm sure you deal with this too at Nevada Humanities, that the humanities are hard. It's a hard word because nobody really knows what it means. It's not just like yes, it's about our human experience, but it's different from humanitarian, and um, and it doesn't have easy pictures because so much of it is about like thinking and talking, as opposed to like where I'm always so jealous of like the State Arts Council.
Yep.
They have all these beautiful pictures, right? It's so easy.
Right.
What do we take pictures of?
Right.
It's hard. It's hard
Uh-huh.
to do it. But I think when we talk about something being meaningful to us, there's a natural inclination to say if it's important, it has to be
Yeah.
serious. And I don't think that's actually true at all. That's not how we live our lives. So many of the things that are most important, so many of the things that people talk about, even talk about at the end of their lives, or want to make sure that they know, as they're saying goodbye to someone, as they're dying, are about happy things, about joy. And I know for myself, at least, I can be uproariously laughing about something, and it sticks with me, and I keep thinking about it. Taking it back to Taylor Mack again, he's hilarious, utterly hilarious. I mean, there was in part of the 24 decade um, history of popular music, there's this whole part about the Cold War, so taking place in the like 1950s into 1960s. He has these two gigantic, massive, 20-foot long blow up penises, one of which has is like an American flag, and one of which is a flag of the USSR, a Soviet flag, and they're like fighting each other in the show. And it's so ridiculous. And yet when you sort of like step back from how funny and silly that image is, it is a profound statement about what the Cold War was about, really, between two gigantically important and at what is a really scary moment, becomes able to be perhaps perceived and understood through laughter and through parody and all those kinds of things. Yeah.
I think you're totally right. Yeah, I think I always ask, like, of course, we do need to have serious conversations, and there are a lot of serious topics, but that doesn't mean that it's exclusive from play or fun. Or I think that's kind of what led me to want to create this program series, because it's a play on words, because I liked that, it's humanities at play in our everyday lives, but also at play in that we're experimenting and having fun and, reaching people in this, other kind of medium. So
well, and I think you're pointing, you point out something that's another really important part about that, which is so much of what we're dealing with, we don't know the answers. We really, really don't. I don't know how to fix, the broken state of our democracy. I don't know how to fix disinformation. But if we can get in and experiment and just kind of play around a little bit, maybe we'll have, I think we focus a little bit too much on having answers, on having beautiful, neat, I don't know, programs and things like that, neat lines drawn around everything. And unfortunately, that's just not how it usually works. But in the meantime, we can miss opportunities for that human connection that is actually how we, I think, start to rebuild the connections that we need within our own communities to get us to the place where we I think all of us want to be, right? Which is in a like happy, healthy, connected society.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think you're brilliant. Yes, I think take the humanities. Let's play.
Well, I wanted to ask you, again, since we have this, really lovely opportunity to get to know you better, but also the work of the New Jersey Council for the Humanities, could you tell us about some of the programs? I don't know if you want to talk about all of the programs, you're welcome to, all of the programs, all the things, but, tell us more about what New Jersey does in your state for the humanities.
Sure. So, as director of programs, I know about them. It's good. But I think, as we're talking, we have a number of programs here. We're a tiny council, really, but New Jersey is also our most densely populated state in the United States.
Really?
Kind of the opposite of Nevada. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. New Jersey.
Yeah. No, my favorite Trivial Pursuit card that I've ever seen comes from like my home set from when I was growing up as a kid, and it's what percentage of New Jersey is a metropolitan area. And the answer is 100%. Every single bit of New Jersey fits in the metropolitan area for some city. Philadelphia and New York City take up a goodly portion of our of our metro areas alone. But you're just never very far from a large population center if you're in New Jersey. There's just a lot of people here. And it's an amazing, wonderful place. I love it so very, very much. And I say this as somebody who is not from here originally. I was born here, but I did not grow up here. So anyway, what kind of programs do we do? Talking about, humanities at play, we have a program that we just ran for the first time. We piloted in the summer of 2023 called Humanities Lab, that kind of has the same goal that you do here at Humanities at Play, which is like, how can we play around? How can we encourage that? People to break out of whatever, however you feel like you're stuck. It's really easy when you're doing humanities-based work to get very complacent in the types of programs that you run. If you're used to doing lecture series, you just keep doing lectures. And lectures are great. I love lectures, but not everybody does. And it's not for every population that there is out there, but it can be really hard to say, we're going to try something new. So Humanities Lab is designed as a cohort learning program So you get a group of people together who are going to look at examples of programs, case studies, talk to people across our state and beyond who are doing interesting humanities work while developing a program of their own. And then we give funding to fund a pilot version of that program at the end of it. So that's one that's been really, really fun. I can't tell you how successful it is because we're right in the middle of it.
Right. You
They
just
received
started.
that first cohort, got through their learning experience last summer and into the beginning of the fall, and all of them are in the process of developing their projects right now.
Oh,
So
fun.
we have a meeting, a cohort meeting, check-in coming back together. Coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited to hear from everybody about how things are going. So that's very fun. I love that one. We have another cohort-based learning program called Community History that's about teaching non-historians how to do history-focused work, like public history-focused work. And again, learning together first and then developing a project, and then we fund that project at the end. At the end of it. The most exciting thing about community history right now is that we just sent out the acknowledgement or the invitations for the next cohort, for the 2024
Okay.
cohort. So it hasn't even been announced publicly. It will be announced publicly soon, but we just sent out those invitations to the folks who will be accepted into community history today. That's what I
Exciting.
was doing. It's very exciting. Yeah.
One of
So I
my
think
best friends is
the
a historian,
opportunity
so I need to
to
tell him about this.
mm,
Sorry to cut you.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
need to tell
No,
him.
no, no. I think the opportunity to like expand the types of people who do traditional work is really central to a lot of what we're doing here in New Jersey. We have an incredibly diverse population. We have incredibly densely populated population. And we can get lost. We can get lost in the bigness of New York and Philadelphia. Um, what is Ben Franklin supposedly said about New Jersey? It's a barrel tapped at both ends. So we want to make sure we're really not getting lost at all the amazing things that are happening inside the state boundaries, despite these two huge cities that are right on the edge
Mhm.
for us.
I'm going to read this really sweet comment from the chat. Everything has to go in its neat little boxes in its perfect place, just like an unpacking, and sometimes that's just not the case. Sometimes you have to do different or weird things. You never know how much impact it makes on others until you do it. And then heart emoji. Thank you.
100%. Could not agree more. Thank you for that comment. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you mentioned two things. So I love the idea of humanities lab and in the history conversations. Are there any like really fun programs or upcoming projects that you're excited about with New Jersey Council for the
Yeah.
Humanities?
Uh, all of them. It's hard to not get
Yeah.
excited about them, to be honest.
Hmm.
No, one of the things that we talk about is, and then we have our grants program, which is our largest program
Hmm.
and our sort of signature foundational program, whatever you want to call it, keystone program. And then so I see all of this incredible work that's happening around the state, and programs start coming, projects start popping up, and there's events and there's special things that are happening, and I want to participate in all of them. And we're lucky in the sense that like you can drive from one end of New Jersey to the other in like 3 hours. New Jersey traffic aside, so you can't actually do it in 3 hours, but
Yeah.
in theory, I could drive, from the far northwest corner all the way down to Cape May in about 3.5 hours. But just getting to everything that's happening is really, really hard. But I have to say, one of the projects that I'm most excited about is in a few weeks, I'm going to be taking a trip down to Red Bank, New Jersey, which is in Monmouth County, like Jersey Shore kind of area. Um, Famous for the 90s movies like Chasing Amy and um, Mallrat. Those
Yeah.
that you're familiar. Yeah. Kevin Smith put the area on the map. Um, but anyway, I'll be heading out down that way to the T. Thomas Fortune um, society where they have the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center. It's not a new cultural center. It's been there for a while. But the most recent project that we funded there, they've opened a permanent exhibition in this house, and that's really dedicated to T. Thomas Fortune as a person, but the Black press more broadly. And I'm so excited because it's a project that has been in development since before my time here at the council, but that I've known about since I got to the council. And to see something build over the course of 8 years, to know that this is entirely a grassroots, community driven project is just so thrilling for me. And then I got really obsessed with the show The Gilded Age on HBO, and T. Thomas Fortune is one of the characters on it.
Right.
So
Oh my gosh.
that was really cool too. When he was in Brooklyn, not when he was in New Jersey, but still. So like all of these things kind of coming together, I'm very, very excited that the exhibition is already open. If you're in the area, go check them out, go visit. But I'm really excited to go down soon and actually see the exhibition. So yeah, that's one there's a million more that I could mention, but that's one that's really in my brain right at this moment.
Okay. I'm going to have to look all these things up. That's really, really cool.
I know. Next time you're out east, Kathleen, we got to take you on a Jersey tour.
Yeah.
It'll be fab.
Well, actually, how far away is Providence from New Jersey?
Not bad. I'll be taking Amtrak for our next National Humanities Conference.
Yeah.
Also, because then I don't have to deal with New Jersey traffic on the Turnpike, the worst, what's the worst highway in the United States. I hate the New Jersey Turnpike so much, and I spend a lot of time on it.
And I love trains, so Amtrak is
exactly
great. Okay,
exactly. Yeah. How far away from Providence? What, 4 hours?
Okay, it's not too bad. That's not
bad.
I used to sometimes drive from Bloomington, Indiana, up to Chicago, and that was about 4 hours.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some fun questions now. Not that any of these haven't been fun, but I guess the first one would be, kind of harkening back to your bio. Why do you describe your hamster as being slightly bloodthirsty?
Okay, listen, all hamsters are slightly bloodthirsty. Let's be honest, they're horrible creatures. No, it's bad because
I've never owned one.
Oh so my God. We had a hamster in my 4th grade class. It was a class hamster. And I swear, every kid in our class got bit by that little jerk. I do not have a positive impression of hamsters based on that foundational experience at the age of 9, 10 years old when you're in 4th grade. So my stepdaughter, my wonderful stepdaughter, who's 12, she has for the last several years had rats, and rats are fantastic pets. I would not have guessed this, but they're fun. They're smart. You can teach them tricks. They are very silly. They're very cuddly. They walk around on her shoulder. She could walk around with one of them on her shoulder. And for whatever reason, when the last of her rats died, may they rest in peace, she decided she wanted to get a hamster. Aww. And I was really arguing against this. But it's her life, her pet. So, but the nippiness of the hamsters is real. The most recent hamster-related disaster we've had is we discovered that some mice in our house found the hamster food. And so now we've got what's unauthorized rodents getting into the food of the authorized rodent. And it's a bit of a situation. So we used to have snakes. So at least if we would, find mice, we could feed them to the snakes. And now we don't have snakes. So it's a bit of a situation in our house these days.
Well, you have a turtle too, right? Or do you?
We do. We have a turtle that is not technically our turtle.
Okay.
Our turtle, there's an environmental center in our city, had to close due to a heating issue. The heater went out. And turtles are cold-blooded, of course. So not having a heater in the winter equals dead turtle, for sure. So we took in this turtle. My husband is a nature writer and nature educator. So he was, 1 degree of separation away from the turtle. We took in this turtle. for what I thought was going to be a few weeks, and we're more than a year. In fact, I think we might be even more than 2 years, or we're nearing 2 years. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
We've had the turtle forever. The turtle, yeah. He now hear tell that the nature center will be reopening, and they would like their turtle back. But
Oh.
it's a bit of a it's been a bit of a situation. But turtles are extremely they can be quite finicky to care for, but it is fun to have the turtle. He's very beautiful.
I like turtles, so I've never
Yeah,
owned one, but I would like to own one someday.
yeah. My husband is a herper, which is like the reptile and amphibian equivalent of a birder,
Yeah.
so a non-professional herpetologist. So he knows a lot about reptiles and amphibians. Turtles and snakes are his favorites.
Okay.
Um, so it's good. It's good having a turtle expert in your house if you're trying to raise a turtle, because they can be really quite finicky, and also they live forever. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an investment in a pet, let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get it. My best friend and her husband, they're snake people, so I think between them they
Oh yeah.
have three snakes. I think two hognose and one ball python.
Oh wow.
So
Oh,
I
ball
always like
python,
staying
that's
with
big.
them, but it's it's intense, with the tanks and then the lights and then getting
Uh-huh.
the mice, every once in a while.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
It's funny because we're vegetarian. We're vegetarian in my house, but we always had frozen
Yep.
mice. We're like, we're vegetarian except for the mice.
Uh-huh.
So kind of interesting. Yeah, ball python, that's a big snake. Our snakes were small. We're
Hmm.
relative, like 4 feet long, 4 or 5 feet long. We had rat snakes, but hognose snakes do not seem like they could actually be snakes to me. They're like, their faces are just so interesting.
They're really cute.
Really cool snakes.
Hmm.
They're really cute. Yeah, really cool snakes.
Okay, another fun question I wanted to ask you. And again, apologies, just kind of asking you to name your like top things again. But
That's okay.
what are your top three places or things to do in New Jersey? And it doesn't have to be touristy. It could be,
Yeah,
but it's kind of a fun way to shout out, I don't know, like your favorite restaurant, your favorite tree, like something like that.
absolutely. 100%. So, my favorite places in New Jersey. Again, three is hard to limit
Yeah.
to in a state that's as diverse as ours, but I will say, um, let's see. So, the Jersey Shore is famous in a lot of ways. I can say it is much more diverse than what the perception of it is.
Okay.
So the Jersey Shore definitely has like um, the hairspray and roller coasters for sure. Like you want that, you got that. Go to Wildwood for sure. But the Jersey Shore also has like towns like Cape May that are like beautiful. It's beautiful Victorian town, very historical. Um, and many other like really interesting communities. Um, I love the beach. I'm a huge, huge fan of the beach. So one of the best things about New Jersey is you're never very far from it. You're also never very far from the bay. You're never very far from major rivers. And you're never very far from a lot of lakes that we have up north. And I think I would say that's so Jersey Shore, love it. Um, I don't know if I could pick my favorite town at the. Oh no, another part of my favorite Jersey Shore I'm mistaken, in Belmar, New Jersey, so central New Jersey shore. Um, there is a place. There was an ice. I went to an ice cream place, the name of which I can't remember, but it was the best cinnamon ice cream that I've ever had in my entire life, and it was on the boardwalk in Belmar, New Jersey. Phenomenal. So that's one of my like top 10 Jersey experiences in my life. I would say Northwest New Jersey will give you a great example of why New Jersey is called the Garden State. It's gorgeous. It's rugged and mountainy, lots of lakes. The Delaware Water Gap is right in there. Most famous. I'm from the Poconos in Pennsylvania, so I grew up, with the Poconos being the part of the Delaware Water Gap that I always thought of. But of course, New Jersey is right on the other side. It's absolutely spectacularly beautiful up in Sussex County in the northwest corner of our state. That's a spot that there's wonderful hiking, there's beautiful trails, lovely towns as well, lovely places to visit. Highly, highly recommend Northwest New Jersey. And then I got to shout out our office here. I'm in our office today. Our office is in Camden, which is just across the river from Philadelphia. I look out at the Philadelphia skyline. We can easily look out at the Philadelphia skyline from our office. But the city of Camden has a restaurant called Corinne's, owned by a woman named Corinne, which is just some of the best food that you can get in New Jersey, soul food. It is so, so good. So if you're down in southern New Jersey, go to Corinne's. You will not regret it. It was also a favorite of the late Anthony Bourdain. So there you go.
I was going to say, not only visit Corinne's, but also go visit the office, the New Jersey
yeah, come
Humanities
see
office.
us.
Yeah.
Come see us. We're here at on the campus of Rutgers Camden. And our office is not exciting. It's actually kind of a double wide trailer situation, but it's a beautiful place and lots of fun things happening here in Camden.
I love that.
For sure. Yeah.
When I was
Newark, our largest city, is also one of the most fabulous cities that has, I think the national reputation of Newark, New Jersey is not a positive one, and that completely disregards one of the most exciting, interesting, deeply, like a community that is so committed to their city and to making their city better, that has an absolutely incredible university. Rutgers Newark is phenomenal, doing some of the most interesting work that's happening in New Jersey, in the academic sphere in New Jersey. And I say that as the home of Princeton University, so perhaps not the elite reputation, but really amazing things happening there, and an arts scene that is just incredible. So Newark is an awesome place. Wish I could live there.
This is why I love asking this question, because we're talking to people who really love and know the state that they're asking you about. So
yeah,
it's really
New Jersey has
fantastic.
great small towns too. Like it's such a cool state. It's such a diverse state. Like we have so many different kinds of things here. I love Hunterdon County, bucolic, rolling hills. Yeah, it's just such a pretty place. I love it.
I've been to New Jersey once in my life. When I was in college.
Awesome.
I think it was after my first year of college. It was either my first or second year of college in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I went and I visited my friend who lived, her family's in Milburn. So we were in Milburn. And then I remember we took the train to New York City and saw a musical, which is kind of what you have to do. And then we also saw, I don't remember where this was in New Jersey, but I remember it was on a beach and there were like dunes. And I think we might have gone berry picking.
Lovely. This is fabulous. Well, Milburn is a beautiful town, but it's a shame in a way. They have a really great theater in Milburn. So it's a shame in a way that you left and went to New York City, but really important regional theater. But that's okay. You can go back.
I can, yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, the beach. Yeah, beach was fun. That's what I remember. So when you said I love beaches, I was like, oh yeah, I have really fond memories of this like sunny like New Jersey beach, forever ago.
Yeah. Totally. I have a memory from when I was in high school of going to the beach on December 30th. I remember that because it was the day before New Year's Eve, with some friends, and it snowed. And that was the one and only time that I have been on the beach when it was snowing. And there's always been a part of me that wishes I lived at the beach so that I could see snow on the beach again, because it was so cool. I'm always at the beach in the summer, sometimes in the spring, but not in the winter because very often. But yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, I have another question I'm going to ask you that I like to ask all of our first-time guests, and there is no right or wrong answer, but it is fun just, seeing what people say.
So it's not like the toilet paper where there is a right and a wrong answer, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah? Okay,
yeah.
Got it. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, Gigi, what do the humanities mean to you?
Hardest question that there is. Oh gosh, the humanities is the way we connect to each other as humans. How we get to well, what our shorthand that we use in our office is we get to explore our human histories, values, cultures, and beliefs. But yeah, it's an incredibly hard question to answer, even as somebody who's been doing humanities work for a really, really long time. But yeah, human connection.
I know. I think earlier when you were saying it's so hard, like no one really knows like what the humanities are, how to define them. I was like, well, I'm going to ask you this later.
You're gonna ask me this question. You didn't let me prepare. I would have been more articulate. No, I'm just kidding. That's great. Yeah, it's a hard question to answer because it's so expansive. I think that's the situation. But the humanities are the disciplines and the practices that help us think about how we connect to each other as humans and how we live our lives as humans.
And I think this is a question too. I'm sure, if I asked you again in 6 months and I gave you time, to prepare and really
Yeah.
think about it for 6 months, you might have a different answer another 6 months after that. So
Yeah.
it's
No, I
always
think that's
changing.
right. I think that's right. I think it's good actually. I think answering the question is more interesting than the answer, if that makes sense.
I think so too. It's funny, we're in like job season now, like we're hiring,
Yeah.
and I always think back to when I was interviewing to be a part of Nevada Humanities, and I was so convinced I like failed and just did horrible in my first interview because I asked me, like what do the humanities mean to you, or like something like that, like how do you
Yeah.
define the humanities?
Mhm.
And I just started rambling and I realized, oh my gosh, like I don't know what I'm saying. So I
Mhm.
cut myself off and I said, I'm sorry, let me start all over again. And I tried again, which was
Mhm.
something that I'd never done before. Like usually I just kind of like just keep going, but this time I was like, I don't know what I'm saying. Let me just reset. Sorry.
I have
Disregard.
fallen off the path. Yeah. But like even the idea that maybe we don't have to get it right the first time. Like maybe we can just keep keep like dancing around it until we arrive on something that we like literally you and I in this moment agree on. Maybe that's enough. I don't I'm a big process person. I just care about the process so much more than I care about the product. So I think the act of defining it is actually more interesting than the definition.
I think so too. I think if there was, like one right answer, kind of like, what way does the toilet paper hang out, for the humanities, there is a
Right.
right and there is a wrong. It wouldn't be as fun because then people say, well, you're doing it the wrong way, or I'm going to judge you if you're doing
Yeah.
it this way. But this way, where it's ambiguous, we get to explore together, but there's
Right.
always, right, an element of connection or play. And yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then you can, like you can say you're wrong, or you can say that's not my experience, and that gives us like, okay, now we're down that path. Let's go down that path. Let's figure out, okay, if it's not that, then what is it?
exactly.
If you say no, then what do you say is yes?
Hmm.
So that to me is what's really, really interesting about this kind of work,
Hmm.
and why I'm not not only am I not bored of it 8 years in, but like I feel like I feel like I'm just learning, like I'm just getting started
Yeah.
on it. And I was always, when I first started at Humanities Councils, I was so amazed at how many people there were who I met. I started talking to a lot of other program directors and program officers from across the country, because I was like, can you tell me what the heck my job is?
Hmm.
I'm weeding through federal regulations and it's a little overwhelming. Can you help? And they did. So many, so many did. But I was also amazed, and it was so different than my experience in theater or my experience in museum work, which is, people had been there for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years in their jobs. And that just, I was not used to that at all. Um, and then now I'm doing it, and I'm one of the senior people now, among programs people in our 56 state and jurisdictional humanities councils, and having been here for 8 years, and I'm like, wow, yeah, no, I understand why. I'm like, maybe after 10 years I'll be able to answer that question without tearing my hair out, my already gray hair out a little bit more. I don't know,
Well,
maybe not.
I mean, if this program, I'll hold you to that. If we're still going in 2 years, I'll invite you
Yeah,
back and
right.
we'll see.
10 year,
Yeah,
January of 2026. Yep, that'll be 10 years.
perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
well, as we come to the end of our time together, I guess this is a chance if anyone wants to send any last questions in the chat. But otherwise, Gigi, if there's anything else you want to share, like anything that's fun, any events that are coming up that you want to promote,
Yeah.
or opportunities, you're welcome to do so here. Just let us know.
Well, yeah, oh gosh, so many things. I'm so excited to be part of this. I think Kathleen, you and I have talked about this a little bit. The thing There's so many things that I love about my job. One of the biggest perks we have as, programs people at Humanities Council are all the other programs people at Humanities Councils who are to a person. I have never met a person who was not fascinating who worked for a Humanities Council. Honestly, like I've never met a single one who was not fascinating. So yeah, getting the opportunity to chat with you and to do it in this way that's so different than anything I've ever done has been so cool. So fun to talk about our work and like talk about it together. So cool. So now I'm gonna have to listen. I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I've already watched a couple of the Twitch the things with our colleagues, but now I'm gonna have to watch all of them moving forward.
Yeah, no, please
There's
do.
no
They're
doubt.
they're fun. Yeah, I think like you said, it's always nice when you make new friends out of this. When you go to conferences,
Totally.
it's a little bit less lonely because now you
Yeah.
see a familiar face. And
Yeah.
right, conferences you don't always get the chance to, kind of like let loose and like laugh. It's kind of like a lot of like let's sit at panels and have,
Yeah.
conversations or brainstorm. But I liked on Humanities at Play getting to, tease people sometimes if we're
Yep.
if we're not
Yep.
solving things or, trying to puzzle our ways things
Exactly.
together. So yeah.
Exactly. Although definitely when you're in Providence in November, um, late night in the hotel bar, there does tend to be a certain group of us that are hanging out and having a good time too, asking a lot of these same questions hilariously.
Yeah.
So
Well, I can't wait.
yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna be great.
Well, I think that kind of brings us to the end of our program today. Before I say goodbye, I'm just going to promote our next stream that's coming up. So, again, thank you so much, Gigi, for playing Unpacking with us, for sharing more about yourself and New Jersey Council for the Humanities with our audience today. And of course, we're going to be sharing this recording on YouTube later after it's off of Twitch. But just for people in our audience, we're going to be back on Tuesday, February 13th. So, not next Tuesday, but the week after that, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific. We're going to do a special, this is another one of our United We Stand streams. This is going to be with Laura Crosswell, who's the director of the Center for Advanced Media Studies at the University of Nevada, Reno. And we're going to be playing a game. I've never done this before, but this is a game that relies on eye tracking technology. It's called Before Your Eyes. And Laura's research is all about eye tracking technology and its uses. She talks about media literacy, implicit bias, and public health messaging. So I think it's going to be a really fascinating discussion with her. And she doesn't really play video games. So again, this is kind of like you. She's new to all of this. She's like, I don't know what I'm in for, but let's try it. So that's
Totally.
Tuesday the 13th from 12 to 2 p.m. Really excited. And again, just a
Nice.
reminder that everyone can learn more about our programs on nevadahumanities.org. We have our past streams on our YouTube channel, and we always have, our newsletter and social media if you just want to keep up with what we're doing. We also did put the link to New Jersey Humanities in the chat, so if you want to click there and see, Gigi on there, see what they're up to, you're welcome to do that as well. But yeah, thank you again so much, Gigi. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank
It was
you.
really a pleasure getting to, chat with you, to know more about you, your bloodthirsty hamster.
Bloodthirsty hamster, Millie Bobby Brown, the
Yes,
hamster. Yeah.
yes, who is forever immortalized as our that was her notebook her name.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Her name. There she is, forever and ever. I'll tell my stepdaughter Magnolia. She'll be so excited about it. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. This has really been a pleasure. So fun.
Okay,
Awesome.
take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.